In this episode, I'm covering how closing your doors will actually make you more money as a membership founder and squashing that fear of how am I going to make money if my doors are closed. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Memberships Podcast. In episode 62, I broke down why 90% of memberships should actually operate on an open and closed door model. On today's episode, I want to get into that a little bit more because I know that half of you are thinking the exact same thing, which is, okay, that sounds good in theory, but how am I supposed to make money if my doors are closed 10 months out of the year? That's a legitimate, scary thought, especially if you are still trying to really establish your membership and it's nowhere near where you want it to be. Let's really take the time in this episode to break down exactly the psychology behind this, what ends up happening when your doors are closed, how you're actually going to make more money on this model, even if your doors are closed. We're going to get into it all. And if you're like, okay, you're kind of full of shit right now talking about this, how do I know this is actually going to work? 2 of my clients, literally just in this last month, one of my clients, her goal was to hit 750 members by the end of the year. It is now mid-end July and she's already at 700. My other client, she wanted to hit 300 members by the end of the year. We started working together in April. By the beginning of July, she hit 300. The thing that both of these memberships have in common is that they used to both operate on a evergreen, always open model, and we switched it to open and close. Their goal for the entire year, having their membership open 24/7, was now met by July. And I'm going to tell you why this happened in this episode. Now, here's a very unpopular opinion. Your closed months inside of your membership can actually be very profitable still. And you're probably, well, what the hell? How does that actually work? Let me explain why. The fear, it sounds very logical, right? Closed doors equals no money. It seems very logical, very black and white. If my doors are closed, I'm not getting any new members, which means I'm not growing my revenue. And the goal of my membership is to grow my revenue in my membership every single month. And this is why most membership founders will shy away, stay away, not try and experiment even with the open and closed model, because that fear of not making money in those in-between months is scary. You don't want to go backwards. You need to pay your bills. I get it. But that is also why most membership founders who operate on an always open model end up struggling to fill their membership and make sales anyway. This is where most membership founders, this might be you, maybe you're even thinking of doing this soon, where you are just like, this isn't working. Maybe my sales page needs to be updated. Maybe people just don't want a membership model. Maybe this is not right for my ideal audience. And that's where you end up quitting and the membership never works out. Or maybe you're just scared of closing your membership. You go through the literal pain of signing 3 members a month, members just trickling in, and you're just like, it's gonna work someday. I'm gonna keep this going. And you just have that fear that you can't close your doors because you won't make money in those in-between months. But here's where that is actually flawed. Here's where that thought is wrong. You have to remember, memberships are a subscription model. Memberships are monthly recurring revenue. You have people paying you inside of the membership every single month, right? Closed doors, first of all, does not mean no money, does not mean no revenue. It just means that you're not publicly open to bringing in new members. Now, I know that you're probably still thinking, well, but my point is I'm trying to grow monthly. If I'm not open to new members, how am I going to grow monthly? Hold on, I will tell you. But first, we have to just really reflect back. Do you remember on episode 62, where I talk about how opening and closing your doors, one of the things this actually benefits is your member retention, because people will think twice about canceling if you have an open and closed membership. If you have an open membership, people will just willy-nilly cancel if they have a new car payment coming out or if they have a vacation coming up. They'll cancel the membership, join again when they need to, or if they maybe joined because they wanted to hop on one of your calls, then the call was over, they canceled. In 3 months, they decide I could really use some support again, they join again. And it's just this up and down, right? Your retention is a mess. Hard to keep members inside of your membership. Now, when you have an open and close, people aren't doing that because they know if they cancel, they're going to have to wait until your next public enrollment. And they don't know when that's going to be, or maybe they do, and they just know they have to wait for a while. They would rather just stay in the membership and not chance not being able to get back in. Hand in hand, for their results, this actually works in their favor, not just for you, but for them. Because when they commit to staying in the membership, then likely they're going to actually show up for the membership. If they second guessed canceling, that's going to trigger in their head, I'm not going to cancel. Maybe I'll actually show up for this thing. And then that's when they start getting a result, right? When people actually use the membership prize, that is when they're going to get the result. So this also works in their favor. Now let's kind of just zoom out and look at what I just said here. When you have your doors open and close, yes, that's saying no to new members publicly. I'll get to that in a second. But also it's improving your retention. The chances of you making more money as an open and close just from current subscription members is greater than if you have an open and closed membership. Just remember that you're going to keep people in longer, which means the revenue that you do bring in during those open periods is likely actually going to last longer than if you have a evergreen always open model. That's the first thing to note. That's what really makes this different, obviously, right? Than a membership, than say something like a course. If you have a course and you're not selling it, you're not making money unless you have maybe a split payment of two, but even then, you're not really making a lot of money long term. The magic of a membership model is you have that subscription going long term. That's the first thing to remember. The second thing, we need to look at what closed actually looks like behind the scenes. If you know me, I am all about a strategy, an automation, a system. And that is what we're going to get into right now. When you decide to move from an open model membership to an open and closed model membership, when you are closed, that means your doors are closed to the public. You're not actively trying to get people, say, from your social media into your membership. You're not actively promoting, doors are open, join now. But that does not mean that you can't have strategies to be automatically signing members behind the scenes. You want to be careful here because you don't want to always be signing members behind the scenes in a way where you're like, if you join my email list, you can always get into my membership. That's not what we're saying. I'm saying that you are wanting to have specific strategies in your pocket that you can do in those in-between months that you are not actively open to the public for your membership. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I'm going to give you two of my favorite. One of them is a mini incubator. A mini incubator event is basically just like a mini sales event, but you are taking someone from a cold lead to a warm lead. You are warming them up so fast, hence the incubator, and they are becoming a member. Now, you can do something like a mini incubator every month that you are not open to your membership. But here's where you have to be careful. When you do a mini incubator, you still need to respect the closed door policy. So when you are doing something like a mini incubator and you are opening your doors to people behind the scenes using this mini incubator, this mini sales event, you still have to make sure that you're not communicating that your membership is always going to be open to them behind the scenes. You're going to open your membership to them for a quick time period, say 48 hours. So your membership is normally closed, but for 48 hours only, you can get into this membership behind the scenes through the back door. And then it actually expires. If they miss that 48 period, they don't get to come in. This creates urgency. This feels exclusive to them. This creates FOMO. Another favorite that is so easy to run when you actually have it set up is just an evergreen funnel. If you have a lead magnet, a freebie, say a pre-recorded masterclass or an ebook or something like that, that you can send out to people who sign up for your email list, this is another really good place to put again, very short window. They can come in to your membership using the back door, but only for 24 hours or only for 48 hours. If you want more on this strategy, I created a full workbook on how to do these exact strategies. It's step-by-step workbook. It's a step-by-step workbook helping you get your next 100 members. If you want access to that, just head to the link in the show notes and you will find that. It is called the Get Your Next 100 Members workbook. This will take you step-by-step through a mini incubator, how to run it, what emails need to go out, the deadline, the email structure, absolutely everything. It walks you through all of this step by step so that even if you are going to the open and close model, you can still sign my members into your membership behind the scenes. Again, pause this, go to the link in the show notes or the description if you're watching this on YouTube and grab it. It is the Get Your Next 100 Members workbook. Okay, so now that we've covered the behind the scenes strategy and why a closed membership doesn't necessarily mean always having to be closed. You can definitely do these little exclusive invitations behind the scenes. And here's another thing that you're going to want to do if you have an open and closed membership. When you are in your public enrollment phases, so let's just say 3 times a year, that's when you go public with opening your membership to your social media, your email list, your podcast, everywhere. When you do that, you just want to make sure that it is a no-brainer to get in. The thing that's going to help you here that is really hard when you have an always open is that because your doors are actually closing, that in and of itself is going to create urgency. You don't have to pile on all of these discounts and bonuses and all of the things. You can, and you should make it really juicy. But just so you know, that is also something that is going to drive urgency for people because they know they can't always get in. But one thing that you really want to do when you have this model is you want to make sure when you go to promote your membership publicly, your annual pricing, that one is the best deal. You want to make that one the juiciest because when you lock in members at an annual price point, you have those people inside of your membership for at least a year. That is driving up your monthly recurring revenue. You're not just having these low numbers trickle in every month. You're getting higher price point members coming in, and that can really help set you up and plan for those months that you are closed. Personally, for us, when we open $1 Million Memberships Club, our members who join annual get like 3 months free or something like that. It's a massive bonus. It's a massive discount. And our members usually end up staying past 8 months anyways. It just makes more sense. They save more money by doing annual. So we make sure that they get a really good bonus with that. And then the nice thing is when they're in their annual, they can just really commit to the membership and really immerse themselves in the membership and get the results. Okay, so now that we covered why an open close is better for retention, why an open close is better for your members, how to get people signed up for your membership behind the scenes, even on your closed months, and how to sign members long-term through the annual pricing incentives, here's something that we really need to make sure we know if we are going to the open and closed model. Because I think this is where people struggle is when you have an always open model, you're kind of always selling your membership, right? Like you're always trying to come up with new ways to position your membership on your social media or your email list. You're constantly trying to come up with these new promos to get people in and create some urgency. It's just like always in the back of your mind where that can feel really exhausting to you as the membership founder. It can also feel really exhausting to your audience if they're just hearing it over and over and over again. But so where people end up struggling is when they move to the open and close model, those months that the membership is closed, this is where I find people actually struggle with what should I be posting? Like if I'm not selling my membership, what do I post? Do I even post about my membership? Do I just like only provide value and not talk about my membership? Like how does that look? This is something I really need you to pay attention to, write notes on. It's really important if you're going to move to this model, okay? In those months that you are closed, you do not want to just stop talking about your membership. These are your prime trust building, FOMO building, urgency building. I need to be in that fucking community building months, okay? Really, really important. So when you are closed, you may not be promoting your membership and then going, the membership is open for enrollment, come into the membership. You're not doing that, but you want to create awareness around your membership, right? You want to create community around it and that awareness about your membership and what it would be like to be a member inside. Okay, you want to be showcasing your membership, whether that's showcasing member wins, whether that's showcasing a call that you just wrapped up, a workshop that was really great for your members and you want to do a little like debrief on it with your audience, whether you're spotlighting members on your social media. You want to be creating massive awareness and massive FOMO around your membership so that once your membership doors open, it's not taking anybody by surprise. They know what your membership is about. They know what it's like inside and they've been wanting to get in forever, okay? So it's really important that you do that. In fact, in September, on September 1st, we are hosting a 8-week Get Your Next 100 Members Challenge inside of $1 Million Memberships Club. And we are really working on just this. One of the biggest things that I find people struggle with when it comes to memberships is like, you have this information, right? You have this information from the podcast, or maybe you're inside $1 Million Memberships Club and you have all of our content bank, right? You have our videos, our setup guides, our templates. You have all of the strategy to do the things to build your membership, grow your membership. But where we actually struggle is the implementation, right? Is like trying to organize it all into, okay, I know I have to do this, but like, where does this fit in? Or how does this look? Or how do I do this with my day? Or just like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just not going to do the thing, right? We can get so in our heads about stuff and overthink stuff and just end up not doing stuff, right? Like, have you ever been like that with content even? A really good example is the Yap Challenge. I am bringing this up because I know this is such a huge topic right now in the online space, but it makes so much sense. Is so many of us know how to create content, but why do we not create content? Because we get in our heads of what needs to be created, how to create it, what actually works, or we're overly consuming everyone else's content to the point where when it comes to creating our own content, it is just overwhelming. We don't know where to start. We feel like it's not good enough and we can't stay consistent with it. Inside of this challenge that I'm hosting inside of $1 Million Memberships Club, I want you to think of it. It is literally like the Yap Challenge, but for memberships. Every single Monday, we are meeting live on a call. We are meeting live on a Monday morning meeting. We're also doing a PM one for anyone who can't make morning meetings. And we're doing our goal setting for that week. We're doing our planning, what needs to get done, what our goals are, what we're going to accomplish, and we're doing it as a group. Okay, so everyone's going to have a planner to fill out that comes with the challenge. And then every single day of the 8 weeks, you're getting a new video drop of an idea that you can use to establish your membership, whether it's open or closed, right? It's just an idea that you can take and put it onto your social media so that you are actually doing this work. You're actually establishing your membership. You're getting people excited about it. You're creating that FOMO, that urgency that I need to be in that membership. You're creating all of that. And every single day, you get a new drop of an idea. So maybe it's go spotlight a member. Maybe it's debrief your last workshop. Whatever it is, it's going to give you an idea so you can stop overthinking and just do it. So you can feel very confident that while you're in the membership, you're doing the things, you're getting your sales event ready to launch, you're signing new members. You always have a marketing prompt for that day. So that is starting September 1st. On top of that, we have a shared goal tracker. So you're going to put in your goal number that you want to hit for new member signups in that 8 weeks, whether it's 100, like the challenge name is, get your next 100 members, full challenge, full 8-week challenge, or maybe you're brand new, you just want to get your first 10. You put your number in our shared tracker, and that is not competition. This is literally just accountability, motivation, really doing this thing together. So that's kicking off September 1st. And if you're listening to this in real time, $1 Million Memberships Club is now open for enrollment. We're going to be closing at the end of August. Now, if you're like, okay, I want to join this, it's not starting till September, should I really join right now? Yes, because we have other challenges that you can do in the meantime to get ready for this challenge. So example, let's just say your social media is not really up to par. Your content's not getting seen. You're not getting new followers. You're feeling like even if you did promote your membership, people aren't seeing it. It's not going to do anything. You could jump into our visibility challenge for August. It's a 30-day challenge to get your next 1,000 followers on social media. This combined, doing this in August, combined with jumping into our 8-week challenge in September is the perfect combination, because if you spend all of August really focusing on visibility, really focusing on getting new eyes to your account, really focusing on bringing in your ideal members to your social media, and then September and October, we are going so hard with the promotion of your membership, establishing your membership, signing new members. That is just the best combo. So yes, even though we're starting in September, I really encourage you, join as soon as you can so that you can do as much prep work to really get your membership and your business ready so that when September hits, you are just hitting the ground running. If you want to join us inside $1 Million Memberships Club, we have our monthly membership and we have a big bonus and deal on our annual memberships. Our annual memberships even come with a private call with me. So if you want to join $1 Million Memberships Club, you want to be part of that September challenge, the link to grab your membership, whether you do monthly or whether you do annual, the link for that is in the show notes description. You can find all the details there. So when we do this, when we are really focusing on promoting our membership and showcasing our membership and just like sharing kind of behind the scenes of our membership, even when we have a closed membership, even when we're in a closed month, we're not publicly promoting. When those doors open, that is when you're going to get that flood of people because they have been waiting. I personally would rather open my membership 3 times a year and get 60 members signed up every time I open it than get 3 members trickle in to my membership every month because it's open and closes and there's not actually any urgency, and then have 3 members leave every month because they know they can come in anytime. The way this changes your membership is just, it is incredible. It's the same membership, you have the same audience, but when you open and close, it adds that urgency for people to really be in. They don't want to miss out. They want to be a part of this. Just go back to my clients, right? One of them wanted 300 members by the end of the year. It's July, and she has her 300 members. My other client wanted 750 by the end of the year. It is July, and she's already at 700. We are upping their goals massively, obviously, but that is the power of this. They did not expect that to happen, and that is the power of doing an open and close model, combined with some of those behind the scenes strategies and automations that we have, that we teach you inside $1 Million Memberships Club. So if you are someone who is really wanting to put everything into your membership this year, you want your membership to be the thing that explodes, to grow. You don't want to be stuck on one-on-one calls anymore. You don't want to be stuck on your Zoom or this strict calendar anymore. You want a membership model that no matter how many people get in, your workload doesn't change. You can literally have the most free open days, have this amazing, incredible community where people actually want to show up and people are actually building a community. Then I really encourage you to come join us inside $1 Million Memberships Club. Again, we are open now and we are starting this challenge September 1st. All the links for everything, the workbook I had talked about, the membership, $1 Million Memberships Club, all the links can be found in the show notes and description. Other than that, that is it for this episode. Reminder, next week we have our Q&A episode. So if you haven't gotten your questions in, remember you can go on social media. You can just DM me at the Membership Muse. You can submit your questions there. If I have my story feature going on, you can put your questions there. If you have a longer question, you can submit it to our email at support@paigevandy.com. Our monthly Q&A episode is where I take your questions throughout the month and I answer them on the podcast so that I can really go into detail rather than just like making a little story on Instagram. I can really go into detail. I can really do the full training, and it's really my way of giving back and supporting you guys. So a couple different options and ways to submit your question, but I hope to see your questions come in. And other than that, I will see you next week. Bye.